Okay.
Whoa!
Marina has a tent. Pretty. Alright.
And that is me done for the day.
Stop licking the thing!
Yeah, it's wood.
I don't know if we're allowed to show this kind of thing.
And just like that, Marini is done with her job. We never thought that we were gonna be installing what we are about to install. Not today, but in the next few days. But it has happened. So we'll be able to do these with these. Okay, let's open it up.
This is all happening thanks to pure ocean. Ooh, fancy bubble wrap. Ooh.
Oh, that's like industrial strength bubble wrap. Hoses, high pressure hoses, filters, hoses, openers.
Filters?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Whoa! This is the...
The bee's knees. Whoosh. Surprisingly heavy. So that's obviously the membrane.
You know, I don't know the technology behind this right now, but it looks sexy. Check that out. We got a water maker. Woo-woo.
What I'm led to believe is all you got to do is take seawater, force it through a membrane, and all the salt gets stuck on the mesh, and you're left with pure water.
We're basically just unpacking to have a look at everything, but we'll need to read the manual and see how and what's the best way to install it.
And what's this little one?
Let's have a look. Not even my birthday. Boost pump. Little pump.
This is next level after bubble wrap. This is spaghetti wrap. Whoa.
That's the high pressure pump.
There's a beast.
And the first thing, apart from opening the box, is we need a water source. So I've got this diddy little seacock. Look at the size of it, a little 1/2-inch seacock. And this will supply the water maker and the seawater tap. So let's drill a hole in the boat. Yay! Yeah, we've had a lot of discussion with several friends about the seawater taps because most of our seacocks are on the port side, and so is an outlet. And speaking with a friend just last night, he said he was using the seawater tap whilst pumping out a certain tank, and lo and behold, the water went brown. And I was like, that's disgusting. So we've actually managed to get this seacock on the other side of the boat. We've got the seawater strainer, and I wanted this model because it's the same as the engine, and I've got this awesome key for it. I found someone who 3D prints the Vita's keys because they're always a nuisance. So there we are. So this will go essentially here on the wall, going next to the pump, which will be under the switchboard and everything. So I think that should be easily accessible. I do apologise, a little bit of hair and dust in the bilge. I think that should be an acceptable place. Marina's not here, so I can't blame her if I get it wrong. Wait. Perfect.
On that area there used to be maybe 1 or 2 through holes, and we had to cover them. So these, which looks like a bit orange, that is the original polyester of the hole. Then you can see the angle because we had to bevel the hole, and all this is what we added to get rid of the through holes. And this on top of the polyester is what we built with the engine bed. Pretty cool. Nice to see that it's all really strong. Good epoxy work.
There's about 1.5 mil of air gap just here. So I've bulked it out, but obviously bulked it out too much.
No, it just needs a little bit of sanding. The skin fitting wasn't sitting flush with the hole.
Yeah,
Have you put it on now? Just about now, you'll probably realize that we started recording this episode quite a while back, before things changed. the fact that we started it and we had all the parts, the ideas and the plan means that we just want to get it all installed and sorted. So we know this is not a priority, especially after our plans have changed, but then it will be done. And it was a fun thing to organize. We spent a few hours today doing all the thinking.
Not so much thinking as opposed to constantly moving things around.
We're basically about to show you how the system works before we start putting all the bits around the boat. So the great thing and what we really like about this water maker is that it's got quite a modular design. So you don't have to install it all in the same place, which would be complicated in a boat. You can just spread the different components around the boat however they fit best. And that's basically what we were doing today, figure out where we should put every component. So it's quite handy, you know, boats are small spaces. We've got a sea cook, a through hole, where seawater will be coming in. So after this guy brings the water into the system, it needs to go through this, a 20 micron and a 5 micron filter. So after he's gone through the filter, he goes through a hose and it gets to that. Now this big boy is a high pressure pump, which is gonna go and push the water at a very high pressure towards the membrane. And then seawater will be fresh water, like magic. Simple.
Magic.
Simple. That's the little panel, which look how compact it is. So this will switch on the first pump, and this one switches the big boy on. And then we've got a carbon filter over here. This one, with a little timer, because this will rinse the whole system to keep it all clean, you know. So this model is the SE50S, which means it makes 50 liters per hour.
And it's DC.
And it's DC, exactly. So we should be able to power this with our solar. That is the dream of any sailor.
Full autonomy.
Yeah. I think I didn't forget anything. You know, I'm not the technical part of the team.
That's me.
But I think I've got a clear idea of how it works now. We're gonna be installing the filters in the engine room, then the membrane and the high pressure pump are gonna go under the sofa, and then all the hoses and everything else will have to be run around the boat. But anyway, I'm talking too much and you're gonna see this whole process unfold. So yeah, just wanted to explain why there was no scar on my neck at the start of this video, and now there is one.
And the install starts now. Stuart has been mocking up the installation of many things in here, things that need to be moved to make a space for the filters of the water maker. I insisted it was easier if he would do little cardboard templates to figure it out, and for once he listened. So whilst he's trying to figure that out and installing the filters in this area, I'm gonna have a go and try and sand under the sofa. A job I'm not very looking forward to. First fiddly job that I'm doing after surgery. I'm not feeling 100%, but I want to give it a go. And if I can't do it, then it'll be Stu who has to do it, but I will give it a go. This is the area that needs to be worked on. Basically need to get rid of the white stuff. So
I got you a suit.
I got a suit.
And I'm about to make a bubble. Plastic bubble.
Dexter bubble.
Dexter bubble. This was sent to us from Robert Hanley. Thank you so much, because this is one of those things that it might seem silly, but it helps a lot, especially when you're living and working on the boat.
Yeah.
We don't want a big mess and loads of dust everywhere.
Marina has a tent.
Dust is going to be created, but hopefully we can keep it to a minimum.
There Marina's there. There, look. Bagging up the wide load.
Okay, that should be good.
Wave, my love. There's Marina going into her tent.
I'm really struggling already.
Go for it. Just give it a couple of minutes, see how you feel, and then if it's too much, I'll take over.
And that is me done for the day. I forgot how hard it is. so keen. Yeah, that was a bit hard work. Feels good doing something hard, especially after you've been feeling pretty shit.
The bubble worked. And there we go. It's all done up to there. I really didn't have it in me to do that corner, but I might do either, don't know if today, maybe tomorrow morning, because then it's done. I just don't see a point on installing the water maker there and then having to do that section. I know it's hard and annoying, but I know I can do it now, so that should be an easier section. Yeah, it's not a lot.
Oh, really wish I had it in me right now, but gonna have to do another bubble, the extra bubble tomorrow, and get that done, and then it's done. I think it makes sense. I want you to see Stuart's work. Oh, I look horrible. Ugh.
Check Stuart's blocks.
Yeah, I found a big slab of this.
What do you mean you found in the shed?
Yeah, didn't even know I had it.
That's the problem when you have so much storage.
I don't even know where it came from. But look at that, 3 centimetre thick piece of something. Hold on.
Stop licking the thing.
Yeah, it's wood.
Nice.
Hardwood.
So these things are going to be glued on to the area I've just sanded. That's why I wanted to clear it all out.
Yeah, with wood
And
fill.
this thing doesn't vibrate or anything.
Yeah, the membrane.
It's mainly a bit of weight. We're gonna put 8 chunky screws. So that should be good, I think.
Yeah. Next is to make the little support for the pump. And that's pretty heavy.
Yeah, but we're gonna support it in a few places.
Yeah.
And these things, you can see these brackets.
Yep.
Whenever we need to change the membrane, we just undo these and we can take it out and put it back in.
Okay.
And now,
Lunchtime.
It's lunchtime.
Marina's got about half a square metre left to do, so
Going for take 2.
whilst Marina does that, I'm going to go cut some wood.
Yeah. To make the support for the motor, the pump. Oh, where is the thingy? There, I got it.
You want it? There's the secondary bubble. It worked really well yesterday. Kind of surprised.
I still didn't trust my bubble technique.
No, I thought we should put more plastic. If in doubt, put more plastic.
And there wasn't like a table, you know? Nothing. There was nothing. No dust outside the plastic. Okay. How do I look?
Pretty. Alright.
Ready.
Marina will just go into the bubble. So he's only got maybe an hour, if that, in there.
Okay, bye-bye.
Alright, good luck, babe.
Thank you.
Kind of getting into working in the shed. I'm sort of protected from most things in this little sweat box. I've been working on the mountings of the water maker. So I have 2 like this, which will get stuck to the hole, and that's for the membrane. Now I've got to make a little shelf for the pump, and obviously the pump's pretty chunky. So I'm going to try and make a batten for the hole with this one. Make a little support, same again, that sits on the sofa, and then a piece of wood will go across. I'm dubious about the batten for the hole, but we'll give it a go and see what happens. And the rest is all pretty plain sailing. After that, I can relax this afternoon with a little bit of plumbing. This is a pretty chunky piece of wood, so I don't know how well it's going to cut, but let's give it a go. Not too bad, so I'll give that a little rub down. Easy peasy. Yeah, I was trying to find a piece of wood and I found this whole slab. No idea where it came from. It's a little bit cracked, but yeah. Yeah, just found it in the shed. Really have no idea where I got that. Probably the bin.
Just want to tape up all the joints, but I just want to get all the valves and fittings connected on. The nice thing is these are all tapered fittings, which are pretty good. This is what I hate. More tapes needed. And I didn't count how many revolutions I did. Now I've just got to get it off.
The worst thing about doing plumbing jobs is having to take off the PTFE because you haven't done a good enough job. You always land up with piles of PTFE by your feet. It's probably why this stuff is very cheap. Just don't know how much is enough, but it's on.
Yep, so that's all good, all nice and tight. How's that? Yeah, good. So now we've just got to mount them to the wall and put a little bit of hose between there.
And these are non-return valves, correct?
They're check valves.
Yeah, something to do more with pressure applications. Slightly different.
They look pretty chunky.
Yeah.
Nice one.
The good thing with doing a modular system is you can get your head around how the system works and how all the features and all the different stages of the process work, which is good. It's good to know how things work.
Yeah, it kind of forces you to know what each component is for,
Exactly.
how it works, how it all connects together.
Did you show them my epoxy winner?
I don't know if we're allowed to show this kind of thing. This is the art.
The guy's got a problem. One ball's bigger than the other.
And he's got tape because Stuart had it taped onto the door like that.
But the tape kept.
But it's too weighty.
What can I say? Got a weighty ring.
Anyway, you can tell you work hard.
Yeah, I'm always working hard.
Oh, by the way, look at this t-shirt. Oh, wow. Nice.
Okay.
Good job.
Alright, well, we'll see. Yeah, just keep chipping away.
Ooh, Stu.
Right.
Look at your profile.
My baguettes. Get off my baguettes. What we plan on doing with the membrane is sticking it to the hole, and we can't screw directly into the hole because we'll have a leak.
Yep.
So we're mounting it on these wooden blocks, but we're pre-drilling them now. We put these cute little
Lag bolts.
and that should hold it on. It's tight and frustrating and hot all at once in this little engine room, but it's a luxury that we can't grumble about. Okay, we have the water lock. Don't know if it's in the shot. Panning. There's the water lock. I think it's probably going to have to be about here. I think that's about the best I can do using the old eyeballs. That's where we go. Okay. The next filter to add is a carbon filter for the flush. Whee. This is hopefully going to be the best place for it. We've got more shelves to add. We're going to have to tweak it more, but it's just, it is what it is. We'll get there. We always do. It's just trying to get it right without it looking like Swiss cheese that we have everywhere else.
I find myself pottering around in the shed first thing in the morning. I wake up a lot earlier than Marina, and I don't want to bother her. She's been pretty tired lately. That will really annoy her. So the water maker came with cables, but they're only 25mm, and we've got quite a long run between the high pressure pump and the batteries. So I've had to get some 50mm, which is pretty chunky cable. So all I'm going to do now is connect the little terminals, run all the cable, but I'll only connect it once we connect the switch panel and do the electrics. Obviously we can't do that until there's a wall. So I'm just playing with this. So I generally start the morning by coming in here, sometimes with a coffee, my headphones. Work on projects that Marina has no interest in. Okay, there we go. Let's get this little doohickey on. There we go. Okay. These are the only bits of heat shrink I can find that will fit, so here's hoping it shrinks down enough. Okay, that's as good as it's going to get. Whee. There we go. Positive one done. Okay. I missed. So that's the 2 cables done. Not too bad.
I got the mask on again, and I'm gonna quickly show you what I did yesterday that I don't know why, but didn't record. It's all taped now, ready to paint, but this is glued, that one is glued. We've got a little support here and another one here, and then we'll screw a board where the high pressure pump will be sitting on. And just like that, Marini is done with her job. Ta-da!
So that's the lockers all painted. Now the next thing is, let's get everything in. What do you think, babe?
Yeah, I'm gonna let Stu do that whilst I work on something else.
And the goal is to get all the lockers looking like this.
Let me take this tape off.
Yeah, start getting tape off. So I went to go pick up the mail and somebody left a can of beans. Look at that. Heinz as well. Not the cheap generic shit.
Identify yourself. Thank you. Tape is off now. Perfect. Got a little bit of paint on there, but it's not important because there's gonna be a board sitting there.
Job well done, Marini. Wow, this has changed quite a bit.
Yeah, back in my favourite spot, putting stuff on walls.
The inverter is on.
It doesn't need cables because it's wireless.
No, it needs to be wired in. The water lock is on, check that out.
Yeah, Marina gave it a clean and it was just another thing in the way, so I thought, whilst I'm here in the dungeon, try and get it all in and try and make sense of it.
It has been secured to the wall with 3 cable ties.
Gigantic cable ties.
It's gigantic, yeah. There's the exhaust, all double clamped.
Yeah, the first hose is in, cable ties, got a little valve. So that is the seawater supply to the water maker. Next, let's do the seawater outlet, which is this one. Now this is the hose that's going to go from the filters to the water maker. What do you think? Easier to run from the water maker here or from here to the water maker? Tough one. Let's try from the water maker area. Hopefully I made these tunnels big enough. I've got the hose, now I've got to try and get it behind the exhaust. It's still a little bit of a dog's breakfast this, but it's because we're missing a wall. I've been working on the switchboard in my spare time. Okay, now back to the saloon and to cut the end off, hopefully with enough on it.
Here we are. There is the feed for the high pressure pump. Then we quickly go grab a bit more hose, and I'm also going to grab some red hose because then everything is pretty much plumbed in through the tunnels and I can forget about that job. This here fancy blue hose is the cold water feed. So we're keeping seawater and tanks with clear braided and actual plumbing hoses in its blue and red colours, because I think it will be handy to see the tank build up if there's any unniceties in the tanks, as well as the inlet for the seawater, because that's probably going to crust out within a few years. So another hose through the tunnel. This one will feed the hot water tank, the shower and the water maker, so I'm going to do all of that now. I got some red hose. The local Chandlers, they can't get any more after this, so I thought, well, if I run all the plumbing today, then it's all in and I can forget about it. Seawater tap. So I just thought today would be a good day to at least run all the hoses. I'll connect them as and when. Oh, you've got a shoulder view. Hot water, continuation of the cold water and the seawater. I'll have to make off the ends at some point when I come to commission the other half of the system. But for now, that is all the hoses that need to go through. Yay! Soften up the hose a little. Soften up the hose a little bit more. There we go. As you can see, there are now 3 ends. Hot water tank, shower, water maker, rinse. Apart from 1T, people, that is basically the hoses run the entire length of the boat. Yep. There it is. Cool.
Stu is about to screw the board that we made for the big motor. These are the rubbers that came with, so it doesn't shake the whole boat when it's making water.
Because of the length of the cable run, we've had to run fairly chunky cables for the voltage drop. Okay, there's one end. Let's try and get this grommet back on. Okay, so we've tested everything. Everything's isolated. Wait, I dropped it.
That's the guy who works the hardest in this team, all day long. As long as the sun is out. I got that when I had my second surgery. Maybe it brings us some luck.
Okay, alright, so now we've got to get these cables into the engine room.
Oh, and that's what you say is the fun part.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Go. Pull. Okay, just the red now. Keep going on the red. Touch of black. Okay, that's it. Okay.
So cute.
Right, ready. Let's get this bit in.
That's for the right side. That looks real neat.
Looks professional. Nice bit of kit, I think.
Yeah.
It actually looks really pretty. It's all the way closed. Cool. So this is the high pressure hose now getting connected. Okay. I didn't hit record, obviously, did I? But here, look, this is what I was doing. Yep. That side's done up. So the unit comes with a lot of push-fit hose, as well as a handful of connections, which are brilliant. But because we're running flexi hose, I've just had to get a couple of extra add-ons. That was my choice. This is the hose that comes from the filters. So that's now the low pressure going into this little piston pump.
And just like that, it's installed. We have our own little desalination plant on the boat. So thank you so much to Pure Ocean Marine for all their support. We've been chatting with Jason, who's been super helpful. If you have any questions about this system or any other, they have many other options. This is not the only model. They have water makers that make more liters per hour. They have AC models, compact, portable, modular, all kinds of things. So we will leave all the info in the description. And if you have any questions, you either contact them or leave us a comment, send us an email. We'll be happy to answer any questions. The hardest part for us has been adapting the boat so we could, put the pieces on. But once you figure out where it's going, it's been pretty easy to install, to understand, and hopefully to use. We will obviously be showing you how it all works, but we can't yet because we're not in the water. So stay tuned for that. And now, before we go, let's do a quick rundown of how the system works now that it's all put together. Come with me. Okay, so over here there's gonna be a wall that is not yet there. And that's where the whole magic will start, with this. A small pump and then the main pump, which is the big chunky thing, the big boy. So this is to switch the machine on, which would be somewhere on this wall. We don't know where yet, but probably next to the switch panel over there. So let's imagine it's in there. And then that will activate first this one, which will also be installed somewhere on this wall. So once this is activated, water will come in through here into those two filters. So this hose that comes from the bottom here will be the seawater coming into this, how is this called?
Check valve.
Check valve. And it will go into the first 20 micron filter, 5 micron. This is a low pressure gauge. Then it will go through this hose. Then it goes under this shelf I'm sitting on. And it goes through this wall into the galley, and then from the galley goes under the sofa. So that is the seawater coming in, passing through the filters. Now this section you see here is not used to make water. This is just used to rinse the whole system with fresh water, because if you use fresh water without a carbon filter, it could damage the membrane. So that fresh water needs to be cleaned before it goes through the membrane, otherwise there will be no membrane anymore. So this is just the rinsing system that comes in from our fresh water. And yeah, up to here that's it. Now let's go into the other side. Dun, dun, dun. I'm the seawater. And I'm coming in, dun, dun, dun. And I get here, the serious business. That hose that came in with the seawater is this one here. So it comes into the high pressure pump, which will send it through this high pressure hose with a very, very high strength.
Yeah.
High pressure.
Yeah, very high pressure.
So you don't see it, but it kind of like coils over the membrane and comes in through here. You see on the membrane it says in. So the seawater now is coming in, is getting all the salt off, ding ding ding, and it comes out through this little one over there. A 3-way valve. So when the water starts to come out, you need to look at the quality of it, which this sensor will tell us. Once the quality of the water is good, you can switch the valve and start filling your jerry can. If the water that comes out is not good yet, because it needs to start working the pressure up and go through, we'll reject it. It will go down the sink. As soon as the monitor tells us, yep, you're making good water now, then we'll switch the valve and this will go into a jerry can. And we'll be making water. Fresh water. H2O. Perfect. I'd explain it right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so
that's
too.
pretty much it.
And Stu has added this little thing. This is Stu's idea. So we can, close them up if we want to. Just a little extra. Yeah, that's it. That's the water maker in. Which, by the way, because we're not going into the water for a while, we will need to pickle. So we need to find out how that's done. We'll probably talk to Jason about it to make sure we do it right, and we'll probably show you how to do it as well, just because might be interesting for some of you, and we show you everything.
That's it for this week's adventure. It's been a really fun episode to make. A little bit tricky at times, but we got quite a lot done and we're really happy about that. Want to thank Pure Ocean Marine for all their support. It's been a really awesome project and we're super excited to test it out. Thank you, Jason, and very grateful for your help.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks to everybody else that watches and supports us. Please like and subscribe if you've yet to. And that's it for this week.
Yeah. Sorry, more adventures to come next week, hopefully. And for those of you wondering, I'm feeling okay, getting stronger every day, and still don't know anything about the doctor, but I'll be going there in a couple of days. So wish me luck.
Fingers crossed, people.
Yeah. Thank you all for your support messages, for all your love.
Thank you.
And for being with us every week. I hope you enjoyed this one.
Yeah, it's been really fun. So, yep, go out there, get yourself a Pure Ocean Marine water maker and have showers every day on your boat.
And be totally
Autonomous.
self-sufficient.
That's it.
That's the dream.
Well, have a good week and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye, see you. Ciao. Hasta luego.